Hello, everybody. Welcome to one more exciting session in series AWS Bootcamp. In this session, we will learn about creating an S3 bucket. And once we create an S3 bucket, we'll upload an object to S3 bucket. And then we'll understand what is versioning and how to enable versioning on S3 buckets. These three are the things that we are going to do hands-on in this particular session. Let me switch to my AWS account to do this exercise. All right, we are basically there on my AWS S3 account. You see here under recently visited, I have S3 service on the top. If it is not there on your console, you can go to the search bar, type it S3, and you will be able to see S3 icon here, and it is called as scalable storage or simple storage service. You can click on that. You'll be routed to a S3 serve page. Now here, the first option, you'll see you can create something called as a bucket. All right. So select option create bucket to create a logical container on AWS S3 to store any objects. The first and foremost thing and important thing is that we need to create buckets. And these bucket names should be a unique not only to your account, all the AWS accounts. So globally, it should be unique. Now I'm giving a name as level up demo 1 because I already have a storage account by name level up demo. So I'm giving an option name as level up demo 1. AWS S3 storage basically is a global service, but we can still choose a region in which region I need to create my S3 account. Okay, here let's say I'm choosing US East 1. So my storage bucket now it will create on the region called as US East 1. And now there is also one more option on AWS S3, like let's say we already created one bucket in the past. We have given some configuration parameters like whether it should be public or whether it should be private or they should be versioning or whatever option. Now, if you don't want to choose all the options again, if you already have some bucket, you can select option choose bucket and all the buckets will be displayed. If I select this and choose bucket, all the configuration of this bucket will be inherited to the new bucket that I'm going to create. Okay, as of now we are not doing that, but if you have a use case that you have to copy the configuration of existing bucket or to a new bucket, you can choose this option. All right, and now if you want to control the ownership of all the objects in the bucket, we have to enable ACLs. Okay, ACLs means access control list. For this exercise, I'm not enabling any ACLs. Okay, and then moving to next, this option basically, if you want to make the S3 bucket that you're going to create, whether it should be public or whether it should be private. By default, it is private, so it is blocking all public access. If I uncheck this bucket will have public access now. Now let's say I don't want to make everything which is there on the bucket public. So I can choose whichever you want to block for the public. Okay, by just selecting that particular option. Okay, and then if you want to make it public, obviously we need to acknowledge that I am aware that the objects that I'm going to put in this particular S3 bucket are going to have public access. We will enable the versioning once the bucket is created, and encryption, we will discuss that concept uh, in the next lectures. And then select the option called as create bucket. Now we can see that my bucket level up demo 1 is successfully created. Okay, let us click on that. And there is no files or there is no folders or there is no objects. So every file that you put on an S3 bucket is called as object. There is no objects in this S3 bucket. as of now because we have not uploaded anything. Now let me upload a sample file to this S3 bucket. Select option upload. This option called as add files. Now it is choosing my desktop. I'm selecting option open. This is my local file and I am uploading this. Okay. Now this object is uploaded. Now if you look here, you see AWS S3 exercise 1. This is uploaded at this time and the size of the file and the storage class. Okay, we'll discuss about the storage class as well in the coming lectures. Now if I click on this object, you will see the metadata of this particular file. Now who is the owner of this object? What is the URL of this object, what is the time that is last modified and which region it is there in, what is the size and the object URL if you want to give it to public to access that over the internet. All right. And this bucket is not versioned at, that's okay. All right, these are the this is how you upload an you create a S3 bucket and upload an object to S3. And if you look into the permissions, you'll come to know whether this is having any public access. So this object does not have any public access or any other users. Only the owner can read or read write access. That is the only access it has. And does it have any multiple versions? This does not have any multiple versions. Now let us understand what is versioning. Now let me open that file for you guys. You see, this is the file that I have uploaded. And if you see, these are the content which is there. How to create an S3 bucket, upload an object to S3 bucket, enable versioning on this S3 bucket. We already uploaded this file. Let me see what is there in that file. Let me go here. Okay. This is the file. Okay. This is the file. Select the file and this options copy, URL, download, open, all these options will be highlighted. Select option open. You see this file is downloaded. Now if I click on this, I'll see what all the objects which is there. You see these are the three things which are there. Okay. Now let me add one more line to this object and then upload again and we'll enable version. Right. So I'm going to my main file. This file is version 2. Okay. This is what I'm updating in this file and I'm going to save this file, save. Now, before I upload, I need to enable an option called as versioning. So now where do I go? You have to go to the bucket. Okay, this is the bucket. Go to the properties. Inside the properties, there's an option called as bucket versioning. Select option edit. Select option enable. Okay, and then save. So now on this bucket, versioning is enabled. So versioning is basically used to archive or delete older version or to configure a lifecycle rules, or basically you can have a file with the same name but the content in the file would be different. Two different versions of the same file. Now the file name is same. Okay, the file name is AWS S3 exercise 1, but in first version this data is there. Okay, and in the second version this data is there. Let me upload this file and see that. Okay, let me go through this objects and then upload. Select option add files and select the file that I want to upload. Click on open. Okay, and then upload. We can see that this file is getting uploaded now. Let's click on close and then let's see how many objects are there in this bucket. Now the bucket name is level up demo 1, right? Let us click on this, and you see there's a small option that is highlighted here, a small option that has come up here, which is called as show versions. Okay, now there is only one version of this file. Let me enable this option called as show versions. Now you see I have two files with the same name. Okay, and it will have a version ID, and you can see when it is last modified. Okay, now if I open this file, okay, let me select this file and select option open. Let me open this. See, this is the one, right? Let me open with a notepad. Click on OK, and then you see I can see the second version of the file which I have uploaded. Now let us say I want to, if I open the first version, what happens? Let me open that again, and then let's see what happens. Go to the first version and open. Now I should be able to see only the data which is there in the file one that we have uploaded. Now right click on this and select option open with and notepad and click on OK. Now we can see the older version of this file. That is how you can upload multiple versions of the files by enabling versioning on AWS. Alright guys, I hope it is clear for you people. In this particular exercise, to summarize, we know how to create an AWS S3 bucket, and we also know how to upload an object to S3 bucket, and we know how to enable versioning on AWS S3 bucket. These three are the activities that we have finished in this particular session, and there is a document that is shared with you people. I recommend you guys to go ahead and do some hands-on exercises on this, and then you will be comfortable on that. It's my pleasure teaching you guys today. You guys have a good time. See you in the next session.